WA6ED, is there any emergency or priority traffic before we start the SOARA Saturday TechNet? Okay, having heard none, if you'd like to check into the net, please call now with your call sign and your name, please.
Whiskey Delta 6 Echo, Mike.
Kilo 6 November, Oscar Victor, Ray.
Okay, we have Mike, WD6E, and Ray, K6NOV. Is there anybody else that would like to join the net? Please call now with your call sign, name, and whether you have a question or not. I'll catch up with you guys if you have a question in a minute. WA6ED.
Whiskey 6 Charlie, Alpha Golf. Without question.
Okay, so Mike and Ray, do either one of you guys have a question? I acknowledge Charlie. Okay, no questions. Let's try one more time, see if anybody else wants to join, and then maybe we'll do a round here. Okay, anybody wants to join the SOARA Elmer Saturday TechNet? If you please call now with your call sign, name, and whether you have a question.
MJ6N, Brian, no question.
Okay, NJ6N is acknowledged. Okay, so Mike, WD6E, you can hand it over to Ray, K6NOV. Ray, hand it to Claude, W6PHG. Claude, hand it over to Brian, NJ6N. And to get the net started, I ordered the rack 1 watt, LoRa radio, 915 megahertz, unlicensed, and playing around with it. It hasn't shown up yet, and neither is the case. But on the rack website, just to let everybody know, they have a case with a solar panel already mounted to the lid that you can fit the stuff into with a battery. So then all you got to do is worry about the mounting brackets. So that's what I ordered, but I didn't figure the easy way out until after I ordered it from the parts from 2 different places. There's also a Rockland, R-O-K, I believe, L-A-N-D website. And you can order stuff in the U.S. too. It might take less time. All right. With that, let's hand it over to Mike. See, and ham radio open topics.
Hey, well, good morning. It's been a while since I've been on the net, and I've got some intermittent stuff going on here. Sorry about that. I'll repeat good morning, and Ed, thanks for running the net. I've got to go through my microphone, speaker, headset. I've got an MFJ, one of those little switches. They call it a microphone radio switch anyway. Something's intermittent right now. Dust is collecting. I got to use the station more. And just a comment on LoRa, one of the first radios that I was involved in developing back in, it started in 1987. Was a 902 to 928 megahertz frequency hopping spread spectrum radio. There, put that out there. WA6ED, WD6E.
Okay, let's hand it over to Ray, K6NOV, WA6ED.
Hey, thanks, Ed. Thanks for running the net. And so I've got a little something. It's not necessarily ham radio related, but well, I guess it is. It has half the ham radio. But I had a spare SDR, RTL SDR laying around, and a Raspberry Pi. And I built this ADS-B receiver, and it basically just listens on 1090 megahertz, and listens for all the plane beacons above my house and around, and whatever it can get to. And so the other day on 520, I always monitor 520. I heard a guy call out, he's saying aeronautical ham station. So I reached up to him. It was a Kilo Mike 6 Charlie India Victor. And I ended up chatting with him, and I'm like, okay, where are you right now? So I found him on my little scanner, and I'm like, is your tail fin, tail number this? And he's like, yeah, that's me. So I was able to talk to him and see him on my little Raspberry Pi ADS scanner. So some fun radio stuff. And so with that, I'll pass it over to Claude, K6NOV.
Okay, well, good morning to Ray and Ed, thanks for running the net, and Brian, and great to hear you on here too. And what did I forget? Mike. Did I say Mike? Oh, Mike. You didn't say, Ray, what it is. All you spoke to was, I mean, obviously it was in an airplane, but you didn't say it was in the air. Could have been a side out just talking on the radio. And if he was in the air, where was he in the air going to or from, or that sort of thing? That's enough for me for now. It goes over to, Brian. Brian, W68.
Thanks, Claude, from NJ6N. Well, I've been playing around with this MeshCore recently. I designed a few cases for the HealthTech V4, and I have one running as a server and one as a little client. And the one that's running as a server, I have a solar panel plugged into the solar charge port on the HealthTech, so it goes through a little somewhat weatherproof jack on the bottom. The only thing I'm worried about on the case that I designed is, how weatherproof will it be? But so far, it's been up for, quite a few weeks without any problem at all. I'm kind of surprised it survived a rainstorm fine, too. And Ray, that ADS-B is really fun. OpenWebRx does ADS-B as well as VDL2, so you can watch the telemetry data on the jets going by, and you can see where they're going with ADS-B and the position reports. I saw my nephew; he was flying a Pilates PC-12, I think it was, into John Wayne, and I saw him land when he was coming to visit. So that was kind of fun. And ADS-B is a lot of fun. OpenWebRx does everything. It's not dedicated to that, but you could just focus on that in it, and it would be a dedicated ground station. So kind of fun. I think I'm at the end, so let me turn it back to Ed, WA6ED, and J6M.
WA6ED. Well, thanks, and thanks for participating today. That's OpenWebRx is kind of cool and pretty neat, and then I've been trying to resurrect my old MacBook Pro. I've been having problems with Ubuntu Linux and Thunderbolt support, not so great. And then I just re-imaged my MacBook Pro back to Maverick, and now I'm trying to get it upgraded to High Sierra. That's how old it is. It'll only run up to High Sierra. But anyway, sagas of playing with computers, but I want to use this MacBook Pro and start putting ham radio apps on it. So that's the message to my badness. And yes, I am crazy. Hi. Okay, let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. Please call now. Okay, the other thing I wanted to announce is I think there is a Firewatch class or something going on today. So quite a few people won't be on the net because they're busy doing something else. Okay, let's go ahead and do another round. Over to Mike, WD60, and then you can hand it over to Ray this next time. Take it away, Mike, WD60, WA60D.
Okay, very good. So, I need to, when I get some time, that's the biggest problem. But anyway, I need to check into this LoRa stuff and the 900 megahertz radios you guys are playing with. That special interest to me. Like I said, one of the first RF projects I ever got involved with back in the late 80s was doing was an FSK radio, and we were running, what was it, 9600 bits per second. It was one of those digital radios. By the way, you can see these radios. They're still installed. They're not. Nobody's using them anymore. But it was too much. I think it was too much money for the utilities to take them down. But they're on light poles. So as you drive around, there's quite a few of them in Orange County. There's a white box right behind the street lights, and it has a gain antenna on 900 megahertz down, facing down. So anyway, there's a ton of them out there, but they're not being used anymore. So it was done like well over 30 years ago. So let's see, over to Ray, K6NOV, WD60.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Brian. I got to install the OpenWebRx Plus, and I remember you telling a story at a SOARA Saturday about you can even hear the tire pressure readings on your neighbor's car. It's like it receives everything, and I'm sure that that's a lot of fun. I've got a few spare RTL SDRs because those are just so much fun. So I've got to get that up and running. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, over to Claude, W6 CAG, K6NOV.
All righty. W6 CAG. And Brian, I didn't know you have a cousin with a lot of 12. That's cool. Somebody you're kind of close to. Nice to have a cousin with that kind of asset. Think that on the MeshCore topic. So I'll keep it short this time around. Over to you, Brian.
From NJ6N. Yeah, the OpenWebRx Plus is what I was referring to. The original, I guess the original OpenWebRx is not being further developed, but somebody took over and called it Plus, and that is, it's every time I do an update on the operating system, I'm using their distribution version. It updates something, it adds a feature, it seems like. So actively developed software is a lot of fun. You just keep thinking it needs things to add. So it's been a lot of fun. The SSTV was fun too. It just sits there and looks through SSTV, whatever HF band you tell it through the scheduler to camp out on. It'll camp out on different bands throughout. You can make it 20 during the day and 40 and 80 at night. And you'll catch SSTV, and it'll just download the BMP or PNG images, and you can look at them later. So it's kind of neat. You gotta throw a antenna on it. Unfortunately, it takes one of your antennas away, but pretty neat. And it's my nephew, my brother Malcolm's son, Chris, is the one who flies. He flies a PC-12, I think, still, and for a private company. I don't know what you call that, but like executive fly on his jet, or not jet, on his turboprop. Anyway, he's having lots of fun. Been flying for quite a few years now. He used to be in the Coast Guard. Anyway, back to net control, NJ6N.
W86ED. Well, getting to fly an airplane and they pay you at the same time is a pretty cool thing. Thanks, Brian. And then radios unfold. So, Mike, you might be one of the first MeshCore people out there. So that's pretty cool, too. Well, let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. If you'd like to join the SOARA Elmer Saturday TechNet, please call now. Okay, it sounds like it's the five of us. Let's go ahead and start another round. WD6E, take it away. WH6ED.
Okay, very good. And it's nice to hear the net. And like I said, it's been a while since I've been on. And I got to get all the dust out of my switches and stuff going on here with the station. Been doing a lot of FTA lately. A lot of monitoring. I'm still very impressed with that code, given how well it recovers signals into noise or very, very weak signals. Very impressive stuff. And I need to definitely jump in and understand. Don't know a thing about MeshCore, but I think I want to jump in, given my early 900 megahertz experience. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun, I think. And yeah, those radios that are up there, they routed using a very interesting routing protocol. We use geographic location as the routing address. And so have some algorithms for figuring out where they have the next packet to based on direction and the geolocation that we come on the radios. That was a lot of fun back in the day. Early development. I was living up in the San Jose area, and it's working with the company called Metricom. It finally took on a new name called Ricochet, or the Ricochet Wireless Network, even though the official corporate name was Metricom. And 900 megahertz radios were developed. We had several versions, lots of fun adding in the 24 gigahertz band. So eventually they were replaced with full band versions. So that was fun also. So I'll look into the MeshCore stuff. I have a kind of a personal interest in that band. So that. So let's see. I'm not sure who I handed over to. Oh, Ray, that's right. K6NOB.
WD60.
All right, thanks, Mike. And you mentioned FDA. This kind of reminded me of I've been playing around with JSA Call a lot and enjoying that because I always love FDA just to see where you can get to and what kind of propagation you can get. A lot of times, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep, I'll just do FDA and see where I can go. But JSA Call's fun because you can have an actual QSO and chat with somebody. And next weekend, it's always the second Saturday of the month, is the JSA QSO party. Runs from 12 Pacific to 11:59 Pacific on Sunday, and it's you'll find a lot of friendly people there that'll chat with you. I had one guy kind of teach me over the air on how to. You can hit enter after you start typing a few words, and it'll start transmitting immediately, so you don't have to wait until you finish typing your whole sentence. And just things like that. So if you're interested, check out JSA Call. Next weekend is the QSO party. And I'm going to say 73 on this round and listen out. But I got to get rolling, so 73 all. And thanks for running the net, Ed. Over to Claude, K6 NOV.
Okay, W68, and now you're saying 73, and you mentioned JSA Call, and I'd like to get started on JSA Call, and would love to get some, kind of some pointers to get it going. I've been doing FDH now for 3 years, and I think I'm up to 132 countries, according to QRZ, my log there. JSH Call sounds like something that can use to kind of build on the same kind of technology and do a little bit more. But I will keep you, Ray, maybe sometime when you're not stressed by other obligations. You can do a little coaching. All right, over to Brian, W6. Go ahead.
Thanks a lot from NJ6N. JSA Call. Thanks for mentioning that. I wanted to look into that. I just downloaded it for the Apple Silicon on my Mac M4. We'll see if I can get it running. I was having tons of problems with my 7610 talking to the back during the VHF contest. So I think I got it working with my old Windows laptop. It's just fine. So I'm sure I can get it working with this new Mac too. We'll see. But that was actually what prompted me to install the new Mac into my office and swap out my old i7 Mac. Was that I wanted to get on FTA, and I was having problems with the old Mac. So I thought, of course, the new one's going to be better. Took a while, and I think I finally got it working, but I need to dust it off and try to get it working again. Yeah, but Mike, that's really cool about those 900s. I remember Ricochet, and I remember seeing all that equipment on the light poles. There's quite a few around here in Laguna Niguel, I think. I was thinking, I forgot about Ricochet, and I was thinking that they had something to do with the water meters. The water meters where they are tracked continuously now. They have a little, I don't know how that technology works, but they have they replaced all the valves with smart meter parts and have a little antenna on the top of them now. So it's kind of neat stuff. That's really neat. I've played around with 900s for on the ham bands on FM quite a bit in the past, so I have a lot of 900 stuff. I have a 300 watt 900 amplifier. That would work great on LoRa. Anyway, fun stuff. Back to net control and J6 channel.
Okay, WA16D, and West Coast Mesh is where to go, Mike. It's wcmesh.com, and that'll get you started. And it tells you right at the very top, click here for setup information. Very, very top. And I read right over it when I first went here. But that'll tell you what frequency to use and stuff for West Coast. But very, very good resource, westcoastmesh.com. Okay, wcmesh.com. Anyway, let's go back up to the top of the list and see if If we want to do a 73 round or do another round, I'm okay either way. All right, over to WD16. Take it away, Mike. WA680.
Okay, Ed. Yeah, I think I'll say 7-3 on this one. And thanks again for running the net. And Brian, those were the days when we were trying to be an a radio equipment manufacturing company and also a networking company. Probably not the best choice from a business perspective, but that's what we were doing back in the 90s, and evolved into Ricochet. If you look at the radios up on the poles, the flat ones, the fairly low-profile ones, were the early ones, which were basically we were working with the research group at Southern California Edison, and they were using it for their operations. One of the biggest applications they used them for was capacitor bank switching for load balancing. And before that, they were using phone-type modems, believe it or not. And the deeper ones, when you just look up and see one that's thicker, and it also has 4 plastic little radomes on the corners. Those were the ones for Ricochet, and the little plastic radomes on the corners were for 2.4 gigahertz with a switch, 4 direction, 4 quadrant antenna system for 2.4 gig routing. And what that ended up being was 900 megahertz was for access to the personal and business modems, and then the 2.4 gigahertz band, which is for routing, kind of backhaul, early backhaul, and finally getting some location which we called an access point. And those access points had the rip-roaring speed of T1, 1.544 megabits per second. So anyway, you got to set the Wayback Machine in time to understand the bit rate. So anyway, I'll say 73, and thanks again, and I'll hand it over to Ray, K6NOV, WD60.
Yeah, Ray already signed. Over to Claude, W6CAG, WA6ED.
W6CAG, thanks. And 7-3 to Mike. Ray signed out. I will be about downloading something for JSA call on my remote Windows machine that I have connected to my transceiver here for FPGA. Maybe that'll be my next project. There's something I want to do. Okay, 7-3, everybody. Have a great weekend and week coming up. And stay safe, be cool. I'll go ahead and listen out. Ryan, I guess you're at the end of the line here. Last man standing. Well, not quite. Still have edge. But that's position. W6CAG next for us. Great price.
Thanks a lot from NJ6N. I'll have to take a closer look at the lights I've seen those antennas on. I guess I just never. I knew they were. I think I knew about Ricochet and T1 back then in the 90s would have been terrific. It would have been well above modem speeds. So, and at UCI we were connecting what we called SurfNet associate members like Caltech and Union 76 and other companies and universities and schools around the area to the internet through UCI and the SurfNet Associate Membership Program. So that was a lot of fun. Getting a T1 between AT&T and DTE was always a chore because they would point fingers at each other when we had issues. And getting that solved for like the Southwest Regional Labs, a lot of fun. But anyway, good stuff. Really cool. I finally found my 900 Yagi, so I'm thinking about putting a server up and pointing in different directions and seeing how it works on this MeshCore stuff. But also, we'll try JSA call. 73, everybody, and have a great day. Over to Ed and J6N.
Well, WA6ED, well, thank you, everybody. And MeshCore is kind of interesting stuff. There's also Meshtastic, if you're still listening, Mike. All right, well, let's go ahead and close down the net. You guys have a great day. Thanks for participating today. And we'll just have to tell all those Firewatch people how much they missed today. Hi. All right, have a good one, everybody. This net's now closed. We'll return the repeater use back to normality, I guess. And have a good one. Bye. This net's now closed. WH6ED is clear.